oh, I wish I could. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. He said, bro, what do you mean you wish? Just do it. No, but I have responsibilities. I have this, I have that. You think I don't have it too? But yeah, but you're different. No, I'm not different. The only thing that's different is my mentality and my mindset. That's the only
Conversation I would say is that if you feel something, if it's authentic, if it's real to you, if you feel some passion behind it, go try it.
100%.
Life is short, no?
It's hard to say it, but it's the brutal truth.
Yeah.
Don't master the music, master your marketing skills.
Dude. What up, my friends? Welcome back. Brodie Nero TV, back with another podcast. Big episode. Before we get started, do me a big favor. Please like, comment, subscribe. Your comments help me a lot in terms of understanding what you guys want more or less of. If you got any suggestions for future guests, let me know what's up. So, very special guest we got today with us. He's got a ton of industry knowledge and experience, great business acumen, fly style, and of course, dope music on the way. My new friend, Asrÿ. What's up, my boy?
What's up, my G? Thanks for having me, man.
Of course.
Appreciate it a lot.
Excited to have some fun, nice conversation, give something good to the people. So tell me, you've been here a week now. How's Bali? What do you think about the scene, the culture?
Man, it's beautiful. Like, I mean, to be honest with you, I've been I think 20 times to Thailand, and it's still one of my favorite spots, but Bali got something special. And now I know, it took me a while to understand and to be here and to really experience it. And I always kept it a little bit on the side for something kind of special.
Yeah.
But, everything is special in life. So that the music kind of, or let's say that this happening is right now, is beautiful, and Bali is, so far what I've seen, amazing. And again, we just had a quick chat before. I'm here in this beautiful place where I have my studio. I feel like home already, so it's beautiful.
Nice. All the good things around you.
Exactly.
Cool, man. So not only are we having a great conversation, not only have we kicked off a new friendship as of last week when you got here, you're also going to be playing the closing set tonight at, no biased here, one of the hottest parties in Canggu, Barawa. She's with us
Not
Tuesdays.
one of them, the hottest party.
Ooh,
I've been,
it. The
and
best.
I saw it, amazing.
Yeah.
You did a good job, brother, for real.
Thank you. So you'll be closing off after Wani Bravo. Can we look forward to some good music or what?
Oh, big time, brother. Trust me, I came prepared. Let's say it like this. Yeah, I got some dope stuff with me, and can't wait to play it and to keep the people dance here in Bali.
Nice, no doubt. So, you've only been here about a week now, but you've been to a couple different parties, I think, and seen a bit of the scene and culture and kind of what's happening here in terms of the evolution of the music scene. What's your thoughts on it? I could go on and on about this, but I feel it's such an interesting time for Bali because it's such a small island and a speck on the map if you think about it in the bigger picture.
Yep.
But so much is happening here. Curious what you thought now that you've been here for like a week.
Of course. So as far as I'm here, I can already tell this place is picking up let's call it the Afro House scene, which is super beautiful. First of all, it's like kind of my favorite music. We will talk about it later, but I'm already kind of giving a sneak peek. It's the real Afro House that I appreciate about here, okay?
Got you.
So, and which means a lot to me because, for example, where I'm coming from is Berlin. It's not really a scene for this, and it's tough sometimes to play what I would love to play, but if someone is not understanding or the crowd is not understanding what I'm trying to actually present to them, it's quite hard. But here I felt it's way more appreciated and way more beautiful to play with a crowd who really understands the music. And this is definitely a big point for me to be in Bali, to play in Bali, and being also in Bali in the future.
Yeah, nice. It's interesting to hear that in Berlin, Germany, the Afro scene and Afro house culture isn't as huge as it is in, say, a place like Bali or different places around the world. Knowing that kind of music, for example, comes from Germany, why do you think that is? Why do you think there's less Afro house there? And if it is less Afro house, I have a double question here. What is mostly prominent in the Berlin scene?
Of course, I would say Berlin is famous and infamous for the harder electronic scene. Like
Right.
we're talking about like famous clubs like Berghain or Rita Butske or even Watergate, which is about to close this year. Unfortunately, I think that's a big thing that this beautiful club is closing because it's kind of culture, you know. And like I think all of the biggest artists from the underground and even meanwhile overground scene played there. And now, by the way, everyone is trying to get like a last gig in there before they close and shut down.
Yeah.
And but to answer your question is, I think Berlin, we call it the city of being poor and sexy.
Interesting.
Yes, this is like a saying inside Germany because Berlin always has this roughness, you know. And somehow the beauty about Berlin is they always make, let's say, ugly or people would consider it as ugly or nasty things and turns it into something beautiful. For give you a quick example, I had a friend of mine. He built a restaurant in the western side of Berlin, and I think he spent a fortune to make it and decorate it nice. Everything is marble, everything is chic, everything is beautiful. And brother, he couldn't pick up. The people didn't appreciate it. But meanwhile, on the other hand, there was like in the eastern side, like people who having, like I don't know, like really rough old kind of, you know, trashy walls and stuff. They just put a bar in there, and bro, it was like blowing up like a motherfucker.
Wow.
I swear to God. So you see the comparison, like, and he literally hadn't to invest anything, just a bar, and even the bar was very decent. So just to give you an idea how the culture is. So coming back to the music, so people who spend $20 or euros on a drink, it's not happening in Berlin. And especially not in the eastern side. It's like the people go out. What I also appreciate, it's more about the music, the fun, and the experience itself. It's not about showing off and who has the biggest chain and stuff like this. Yeah, exactly. This is not going to happen in Berlin. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time, I would say.
Yeah.
And that's why, for example, a club like Berghain was super important for Berlin. Is first of all, you go there not because of the name of a DJ, you go there for the experience that you're gonna have. And it started already on queuing up in front of the doors, you know, waiting for 3-4 hours, and stuff like Britney Spears got rejected makes it even more appealing for people. And you know, so and coming back to the Afro House, why it's not picking up there, because I think this is more for a scene and a crowd who are way more chic in type of way. Let's say I call it the modern way of what, let's say, maybe R&B and hip hop used to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see where you're going with it.
You know?
Yeah.
And now, because with all these edits, they kind of having the bridge into Afro, which makes it more understandable for the people who have their roots in this type of music.
Yeah.
And look, when you go to places like Mykonos, Ibiza, Cannes, Saint-Tropez, all this stuff, I mean, it's crazy. It's popping. Like that's the number one genre at the moment, and probably for the next 2-3 years. And as you said, guys like Kanye Music opened the door for many DJs nowadays, and even for that genre too. And and to be honest with you, even Kanye Music, I would say in the last 3 or 4 years, they turned that route of Afro House. They've always been a little bit into it. Don't get me wrong. I think they have one of the greatest records out there called Mouillé, which is like my favorite all-time evergreen record. And it's from them, so the credits goes to them.
Yeah.
But still, before they were more deep house, techie and stuff. And they played, I think for 10 years, completely different stuff. And just now they have the momentum. They saw something, they filled up the gap, and they master it, even in the marketing way. And that's the main reason I think why they're like being so successful at the moment.
Yeah.
But even in Berlin itself, they barely play there.
Wow.
It's like more places like Latin America, like Bali, whatever, you know, like you name it. But in Berlin itself, no. It's not going that crazy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, wow, it's interesting to hear because I've been to Berlin. It's been about 5 years now, and I had the Berghain experience twice, Sisyphus, a
Okay,
couple of
so
these places.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not totally surprised some of the stuff you said, but I just thought maybe over the last few years things might have changed a little bit in terms of the Afro scene. But it's just interesting to hear how it's still really grounded in its roots and what it's known for, and it continues to hold that reputation, and that's just what the culture is there.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say it's not gonna work. I mean, there are places who kind of picking up and or actually like quite successful. To name a few, for example, the Door is like a new club.
Yeah.
It's a boutique club, and it's a good friend of mine now. I had my second event there, the Crème brûlée event, and it's beautiful. And this is what they do. They do Afro House. They bring this Afro House kind of vibe into Berlin. But I have to mention, it's also like kind of two different cities in one. One is like the eastern side, which I mentioned before, and the one is the western side. The western side is more that chicness, like the people with a suit going to work and stuff.
So it's there.
It's there. And but it's not like you have like a huge club and, you know, like for example here in Savaya, well, you don't have it. I hope my friend Aziz, who's now took over Haubentaucher. Haubentaucher used to be like a place with a pool in the middle, huge, and I really have faith in him to create this, let's say, beautiful venue into something really, really, really great. If he executed well, and I think he's on a good way.
Yeah.
And I also try my best to support him. We always like in exchange, and so yeah, and also some rooftop parties I know going there quite well. But to be honest, now they're a little bit more housey than Afro House. To be honest with you, no, it's the western side who's like literally doing the Afro House, or Papillon.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Rika. Papillon is like a fancy dining dinner, kind of like Miss Fish experience, which turns into a club later, like having tables and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
So the scene's evolving. Of course, it still has what it's known for, Berlin being Berlin, but it's changing, which is cool.
Yeah, little by little.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool, bro. Speaking of hip hop and R&B, I spent some time, of course, preparing for the interview, checking out your bio and stuff, and it said you have a background history in the urban hip hop and R&B space. I was curious, could you share a bit about your involvement in that scene? What were some of the things you were doing? Were you making music? Were you working with artists, managing anything like that?
Sure. So let's say my musical journey and career started when I was like 16 or something, coming from a small district in Berlin, which is not small, but it's a district which is a little bit more up or to the north, called Reinickendorf. And this is where I started my journey. And at that time, like heavyweights like 50 Cent are coming up to the map, you know, like this guy will in the club, he like killed everything and everyone at that time. I think it was around 2004 or something. And I was always attracted and inspired by, let's say, the American hip hop culture. And yeah, let's say this is how I started. And I had like a kind of like a role model at that time. It was Scott Storch. I think like nowadays, I would say so many DJs started because they were big fans of Swedish House Mafia. And that's why they really became into that genre and even picking up. And for me, it was Scott Storch at that time, who was also doing major, beautiful work. And till this day, I appreciate this guy. But anyway, and I was checking like what kind of stuff he was using, like the synthesizer, the Yamaha Motif and this and that. And I have a good friend, which is still a good friend today, but he backed out a little bit from the music, and he's making more like sound effects and stuff. And we were like exchanging ideas back and forth, and we were doing stuff for Agro Berlin. Agro Berlin is literally the hip hop movement of Germany. Like they literally shaped and started that proper hip hop street ghetto kind of hip hop musical thing in Berlin, in Germany. And that really took over. And I was blessed and fortunate enough to work with them and to kind of also shape it a little bit from my little world, I would say, together with my friend. And yeah, Then they blew up, and hip hop was the biggest thing at this time. And then I think I did this for like 4 or 5 years.
As a producer, you mean?
Yeah,
You were
sorry.
making music.
Exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Completely just as a producer, exactly. I
Got
was
it.
that guy in the basement and creating beats and give it out to them, exactly.
Nice.
Yes.
What do you think inspired or caused the shift of you going from being so involved in the hip hop scene and so passionate about it, and shifting into electronic music? I mean, I went through a pretty crazy, a pretty unique and cool experience myself, which caused me from going more passionate about R&B and hip hop into electronic music. But I was curious for yourself, what inspired that change?
Okay, so first of all, I have to mention one thing is like the reason why I got out of the music for a long time was also that shift that was happening, the electronic rise of David Guetta and this house stuff came.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I was not a big fan of it. I was not hating it, but I was not a big fan of it. Like, and it was too much. It was all over, you know? And of course, then hip hop was not the thing anymore, especially German rap or whatever. And I always tried to find a bridge to the States. And I did a couple of remixes even for 50 Cent and stuff, but never really picking up because at that time, first of all, I was young. And second of all, I was not really genius about marketing myself. So it was, again, just a guy in the basement who's like making beats and try to, you know, the age of MySpace and stuff, you know.
Wow.
I don't even know that you know this anymore. That's way back.
Yeah, no, I remember MySpace for sure.
MySpace, you see.
Yeah.
And and also, to be honest, even to work with the hip hop scene at that time, especially like with guys who never had success before, and all of a sudden they had success, and they were ghetto people. So how ghetto people are, like, everything is mine. I don't want to give up. No, you get the credits. That's enough. You don't want to get paid. And I have to also pay bills, especially like moving to my own place and stuff. So it was not really nice at that time. And so I decided, okay, I have to go another route in order to pay my bills, you know? And also took a little of passion away from me, to be honest with you. So I had to go somewhere else for a moment. And but to answer your question, so technically, electronic music was taking me out of the music, the electronic music of at that time. And yes, and then I went into, let's say, on a business journey, and I started to become a businessman and did some stuff, and I was quite successful with it. So I continued, and obviously, like, I was following then the dollar, as you would say, and I got really, 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 really tired of music. Hip hop was not good anymore. Again, this rise of David Guetta and stuff was cool, but not my thing. And to be honest with you, what saved me and really brought me back into music as a listener, not as a producer, was, I think, around 2014, was Afro. The real Afro tech and the real Afro house. That was the music that was the only music that was doing something with me. That was like, okay, fuck, that's beautiful. Like, wow, South Africa, wow. Black Coffee at that time, Anonapa, wow, Vanko, oof. Yes. Great producers, which is a good friend of mine too right now. And you had him on the podcast,
we had him on the podcast,
I saw it, yeah.
Sick.
Stuff like this, yeah.
Nice, bro. Cool. I want to come back to this, like your business history and everything. There's so much to touch on. You have a very, very interesting bio, and also getting to know you some more too.
Exactly.
So sticking on this production thing for a minute. So last Tuesday when Ron was here, shout out Ron, we heard some of your production, insane songs. I wanted you to tell us a bit about what do you feel now as a producer that's making Afro? What are you aiming to accomplish? Production-wise, what do you want your sound to be known for, known as? And if you could share anything about release plan, any special projects that are up and coming.
I really do appreciate that question because this is an important topic to me. Because with being said, Afro House is the music that I like and that kind of brought me back into the game and stuff. I still also feel, unfortunately, it's over-exaggerated. So that means it's all over, it's too much, and it also goes in a direction that people appreciate that I don't appreciate, you know? Yeah. To bring up the topic, I think we had a chat about this before. I make a clear difference without being racist or whatever, just to have a difference. There's like white Afro house and there's like black Afro House. Okay, again,
I love it. Yeah. I'm mixed, so I can appreciate both sides.
So, and the white Afro House is more the direction of having those edits of famous songs from back in the day and putting on some splice samples and loops, and they're great, by the way. Huh? Don't get me wrong; they have their right to be in this world, and obviously they're successful. So I cannot say anything against it. But just personally speaking,
Yeah.
And the real proper Afro House that I appreciated, like I said, from South Africa and real stuff. This is the stuff that I like, and I would still say nowadays is still not really popping at it as it should be, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
It's more the other ones, but also this got me thinking. And while I'm in the studio, since almost now a year, and I was thinking and reflecting, and of course, I mean, like, you trying to go with the flow a little bit, that's obvious, but on the same time you have to create your own identity, your own sound, and it's I don't want to say quite hard to reinvent yourself, but it's a mission, and I like challenges, and this is a challenge that I'm into right now. And I would say I'm 80% of where I want to be with my music. And
Sound-wise,
exactly.
as an identity.
As an identity, because
Cool.
I think that's super important nowadays to have your identity. Otherwise, you just sound like someone who's already out there, you know. And I don't want to be that type of guy. Not because I'm arrogant or I don't appreciate it. It's just not me, you know. There's so many beautiful ways, especially nowadays, even with AI, to make music, you know. So you have to at least bring your own identity on the table, and I think. This is my, let's say, my vision. I want to even establish and create my own genre. Whoa. Without sounding too far, but because again, Afro House is a little bit like all over the place, and unfortunately, even my business mentality tells me if something goes up that fast, it's gonna go down anytime soon. Maybe in 2 or 3 years. I don't hope so, but let's see. Sure. Based on the experience of things that happened in the past, you can kind of picking up that it could go this route. But anyway, and so implementing and inventing my own genre means I put that, let's say, that little phrase first, and I'm trying to keep up with that phrase, because the genre, I need to drink water.
Yeah, it's all good.
The genre that I want to go into or invent, called rhythm house. I call it rhythm house.
Rhythm house.
Yes, that's
cool name.
That's this genre, and it has, of course, Afro elements in it. It has Latin elements in it. It has a little bit of tribal. It's kind of a hybrid of what I like.
Yeah.
Bring into an own dynamical and progressing sound.
Cool.
So, yeah. So 2025, stay tuned. It's gonna be rhythm.
Nice,
Rhythmic.
bro. Amazing. Do you have any releases that are on the calendar already?
Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, everyone is asking me, like, you already have releases and stuff, and and trust me, it gives me pressure somehow, because everyone is expecting you something in order to get bookings, in order to get seen. They ask you this question, but God bless, I'm patient enough and not go out of my lane and take my time in order to bring, again, something new on the table. And it takes work, it takes time, and also like a lot of failures too. It's not always like
Sure.
So I have to, you know, if I do something, I want to do it right. And
of course.
And even if it's in the middle of 2025, or let's say even 26, I don't mind. It's fine.
Cool. I like that, man. If I'm honest, I mean, out of a lot of people that I've interviewed so far, when I asked them for advice towards the end of the podcast, many people have said something to the effect of, take your time finding your sound.
Exactly.
And I think sometimes it's really difficult to hear something like that, because we're living in a time where it's so busy. There's so much content. Beatport something crazy like 30,000 songs every week, or I don't know, some crazy number like that. It's a hard time to sit there and focus. But I'm sure you've been around a minute doing your thing, and you understand business, and it sounds like you're on a trajectory to create something that's super unique and different in its own regards. So, man, more strength, more power.
Yep.
Take your time, and we'll be here ready to
Appreciate that. Yeah.
to listen and support, man. Cool,
And hope
bro.
to come back to present it to Bali and to you.
Yeah, no doubt. And on that note, man, I'm super excited to talk about this topic. It's something that we've been having a back and forth dialogue about, and
True.
we're super interested in having it here in Bali. You have a very cool event concept called Crème brûlée.
Exactly.
From what I've seen online, the aesthetic, the vibe, it's super dope. Could you tell us a bit about this concept, its origin, its inspiration, and where you want to take it? Because it's got some really cool elements to it.
Thank you, first of all, and I appreciate that you like it. Yeah, the whole thing came to my mind because, as you just said, like nowadays everything is fast, everything is like dum 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 all over the place, distraction left and right, this and that. So the main idea was, okay, let's say I got back into the music scene, okay? And it's not like the world was waiting for Asrÿ to come back. No one was waiting for me, or, you know, like you have to be smart on some points. So, and of course, because I don't have a electronic history yet, or let's say a crazy historic history of being an electronic artist for like 3, 4, 5 years and played already this and there. So I had to come up with something that will create the buzz, you know.
And it's bigger than you too.
And it's way bigger than me.
Yeah.
It's way bigger. And to be honest with you, it started all in Berlin. So it was like in the summer, and I saw like rooftop parties ongoing, this and that. And I was like, okay, I would love to play, but they don't know me yet. So fuck, what I can do.
Yeah.
So either I go and beg, oh, please can I play? Which is not my type of thing. Or I have to put in the work and do something in order to get recognized and people come to me. This is the way how I personally like it. And I understand the fact I also have to bring something on the table. Even I know what I'm capable of. Even I know where my strengths and my weaknesses are. But still, I know I have to prove myself again, you know?
Yeah.
So this is what I did. And then I started Crème brûlée. The concept of Crème brûlée is quite simple, but I would say also beautiful at the same time, because it allows new talents and artists to play in beautiful and unique events where usually big names has to be around, you know. So for example, the first one was actually in a restaurant. So the main idea is like to have like a dining and dance concept.
Cool. But
making it in different locations, not always in one location, having it different locations. For example, we started it in Berlin. I think it was in September at the first one, which was in Spreegold. And it was super, 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 super amazing. And the idea that I had was like, look, I'm traveling the world since 8, 9 years. I've been to all these beautiful places, to name a few, Tulum, Mykonos, blah, 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 and have seen the beauty in it, like people having a good time, listening to beautiful music. Everyone is like releasing their best energy, you know?
Yeah.
And every time when I come back to Berlin and I want to keep up with, let's say, that energy, it couldn't, because nothing was there, or not in the way how I would like it. So, and the idea was to have, let's say, the inspiration that I got from all these places, to put it into my own city. And this is what we did. And also to have the beauty about it, like having good, beautiful, good-looking people, either man or woman, enjoying the music that you're playing. And we started at Spreegold, and it was the volume 1 we called. And we were lucky. But I also have to say, I put a lot of work into it. Just at the end of the day, to have a gig for myself, I put a lot of work into it. But I was like calling model agencies from people that I know. I say, hey, I'm going to give you a free table to give you a little bit of secrets of being a host, in order to have good people there, and automatically it attracts other people with money and stuff. Yeah. And all of a sudden you have a crowd that looks beautiful in the way that I wanted to shape it. And to be honest with you, it was a big risk, a huge risk, because one thing is to have the vision and being like naive and the stupid guy who's trying to do what probably many others before me tried to do and failed with it. And I tried it, but without knowing all these factors, I just did it, and of course with a lot of help too, and it was quite successful. The very, very beginning, that was the point to say, okay, this is now the thing that has to grow. And again, at Crème Brûlée, the concept itself is not only dine and dance, it's bringing good people together, bringing amazing music together, and not having always big names on it, having young talents like you, me, or many others out there, and give them kind of a micro festival kind of character, because it's easy if you have money to book someone big like a Solomon, Black Coffee, Anima, whatever, for 200,000-300,000. By the way, nowadays that's crazy, the fee. And it's easy to make this, but it's nothing special anymore. And I think it would be, let's give it an example. Here in Bali, you have Savaya, beautiful place. Never been there, but as far as what I've seen, it's amazing, and what the people say, it's truly beautiful. Yeah. So of course they have to book Black Coffee for 200, 300K, whatever. Let them play, and everything is sold out. They make their money, boom, done. What's next? Again and again and again. Right. So if you imagine, if you would come up with something like Crème Brûlée, having like a kind of a micro festival, having 5 artists, which not costing even close to what a Black Coffee costs, and I guarantee you, these 5 guys will make a killing in terms of musically. So they will make the people dance. They bring good vibes, good energy, and because of the whole concept around it, it's not only the name. It's also I bring a huge ton amount of decoration with me, which I think is essential in order to create something special and an experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is literally what is Crème Brûlée is about, and bringing on the table.
Nice. Yeah, actually, I can super relate to that, because the team at Miss Fish, when we started the concept, for example, there's a lot of synergies here. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
We had said that we want Miss Fish to be known for the vibe, not for the DJ necessarily. And I like this concept because people are excited to come have a great experience, not just to see a great DJ.
Exactly.
And not to say that some of these DJs are on the up and up and have reputation, they can be known for a specific sound, but if people know they're coming just for a vibe, that makes it so your concept, it can mobilize. It doesn't have to just be in Berlin. Now we can talk about putting it in Bali. It's supporting up and coming artists. Has a lot of really cool elements that I'm a big fan of.
True, big time. And to add something, I think also like what I realized, and probably you too and many others, is having big names. Again, nothing against it, it's beautiful. I personally also attend those events, and it's cool and stuff. But if you have that big name, it's more like an attraction, going into a museum, putting your phone out and tell Instagram, I was here, and you're not. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a little of show-off thing, you know? And
yeah, true.
And I saw recently, I think a reel or something on Instagram, where there was like a comparison between 2024 and 2004. Bro, the people were dancing. There was not even a phone in their head, you know? They were vibing, dancing, the fun, the energy. Look, I got goosebumps, brother. I got goosebumps just even thinking of it, you know?
Yeah.
You see, I'm not lying. I have goosebumps.
No lies.
No lies in here.
Yeah.
And then having like guys like Keine Music, which doing beautiful music. It's vibey. It's beautiful. And standing there with a phone like this, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You really forgot how to have fun.
Yeah.
And that is scary at some point.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Being just an attraction. It can be the attraction. That's why, actually, to be honest, and shout out to Taylor first, inventing this no phones policy, I think is essential. Yes, it's hard because you have to teach them. It's hard at the beginning. The people, I paid so much money and now I cannot even show off on Instagram. Yeah, but trust me, the main reason why you should go to the club is having fun. Not showing that you were there while other people can or whatever, you know? So, yeah, that's like kind of how I think and see this.
Yeah, I feel it. So with Crème Brûlée, how many installments have you done so far? Like how many events?
Believe it or not, now on December 28th, it's going to be the third one. Only.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay, great.
But the second one was the breakthrough.
Oh, nice.
It was so amazing. And till this day, I try to figure out how is this possible in my hometown. Because again, it's not a city of Afro House music. It's not a city of really vibey music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And having this wow, it makes me proud somehow, and also like want to do it more and more and more. And as we speak, maybe soon in Bali.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the aesthetic of it, if you guys get a chance, check out the Crème Brûlée Instagram, check out
Thank you.
Asrÿ's Instagram to see some footage, because he's not lying. Like, the vibe is cool, the aesthetic, everything's super dope about it. So let's keep the conversation going, bro. Try and manifest it here in Bali.
Yep.
I'd love to support it.
Thank you.
Nice, bro. Okay, coming back to this whole business background, business acumen, the journey of entrepreneurship. So, make a lot of references to your bio because it's a starting point of getting to know you and preparing. So your bio shares a lot of work that you've done across a multitude of different business verticals and industries, from building a jewelry business and selling it, working with Hublot, Rolex, artists like 50 Cent. Then it mentioned that you had a role in the fashion industry. You had also mentioned to me you'd manage music artists. I want to talk a little bit deeper about some of these points, but now you're going to be pumping out like insane Afro House music, building event concepts and taking a different twist in your life. So my question is, after saying all that, when you hear all of that, when you think about all of your accomplishments, when you think of the different businesses and personal journeys that you've had, what do you think? What do you feel when you hear all of that as your history?
To be honest with you, it doesn't make me like better or to the person I used to be. No, it's just like, I think that's part of the journey somehow. Everyone has their own path and their own journey. And I'm the type of person I like, and God bless, and I'm really blessed when it comes to this, that I'm capable to do of what I want. And let's say, in 1 year I don't want to do music anymore. I want to do, then I do it, no matter how successful I am or not. Because that's my life. I have a responsibility to my life, and I like things to do in the way that I want to do them.
Cool.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So, and even the business side, to be honest with you, was super essential and important to the person who I am today, and even now for my musical journey again, because it gives me the freedom in order to do what I want.
Yeah, I like it, man, because I used to beat myself up a lot mentally because I'd look at someone, let's say like a Michael Jordan, who picked up a basketball at a young age, committed his life to it for the most part, and saw it through and accomplished what we perceive as greatness. And for me, bro, like similar to yourself, I've walked so many different lives, like the lives of 1,000 men, to be honest, and a lot of ups and downs, like a lot of people, but I've tried so many different things. And now in recent years, I find myself doing things that I really enjoy and I'm passionate about. And to be honest, as diverse as my path was, and maybe I thought I was unfocused at times, I can now feel a whole multitude of skills and experiences from, like, I used to do like network marketing. I used to be in health and fitness. I was a personal trainer for 10 years. And I feel business skills that I got from those completely different industries trickling over, and I'm applying them in friggin' hospitality and event organization and producing music and networking and stuff. So
Beautiful.
To anybody out there, I would say that if you can pull a gem of wisdom from this segment of the conversation, I would say it's that if you feel something, if it's authentic, if it's real to you, if you feel some passion behind it, go try it.
100%.
Life is short, no?
Super short. And again, you have a responsibility to your own life. This is how I think. And what is also major important, brother, is how do you know if you didn't try? How do you know?
Yeah.
So everyone is saying, no, you have to be focused. Yeah, they're right. If you found your path, focus 100%.
Yes.
And if it feels right, focus 100%. But again, I'm following my highest excitement, and people would say like, oh no, but you cannot do this because otherwise you are the master of none, which I also understand that kind of mentality. But again, I'm young, I'm still young, and I like to bite on every cake in order to know what is my cake.
Ooh, okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of my mentality. And if it's good or wrong, I don't know, but it works for me. And I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is to be happy.
Yeah, amen.
To feel happy.
That's it. It reminds me, actually, I mentioned this in one of my earlier podcast episodes, but I love using this analogy. It's something like, I forget where I heard it and who said it to me or where I read it, whatever, but it was something along the lines of, think about when you're on your deathbed, hopefully 100 years from now, the ghosts of everything and and everyone you wanted to become and things you wanted to try come and surround the bed. You're on your deathbed and they're looking at you like, why didn't you try me, Brodie? Why didn't you pursue it? And I always try and stick with this analogy and think of it because I thought, you know, I'd hate to get to the end of life and saying, what if?
Exactly.
What if I could have tried something?
And you know how many times I heard this story? And this is, by the way, also my biggest thing that drives me is, to give you an example, I moved from Berlin to Miami 2016. I mean, I'm still back and forth, but I moved there, and so many people texting me when they see, let's say, my IG, my let's call it lifestyle. Oh, I wish I could. Oh my God, blah blah blah. I said, bro, what do you mean you wish? Just do it. No, but I have responsibilities. I have this. I have that. You think I don't have it too?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but you're different. No, I'm not different. The only thing that's different is my mentality and my mindset. That's the only. So, for example, let's say you have a home in Berlin. To keep it that example, you have a home. You pay 1K a month for your rent and all this stuff. You make 2K, 2.5K, whatever. So, and then to get rid of all of this, in order to go to for example, Miami or wherever, in order to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Let's say you rent out your apartment. You can even make money nowadays with Airbnb and stuff. So let's say you pay 1K, you can at least easily make 2K out of it. Easy, just renting it out on Airbnb. So that means you have already 1K in your pocket. Okay? And second of all, you go to Miami and yes, you have to find a job, obviously. The same, you had a job in Berlin. And have, like, let's say your life over there. Try it at least for 1 year. If you don't succeed, you go back to the life that you used to.
Yeah.
Or you make it.
Right.
In wherever, in Miami, wherever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and at least in your deathbed, you can say, I tried it.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for me, but I tried it. You cannot regret, you know?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's super important. And so, but they are so limited and so locked in their. Sometimes I think it's the system that blocks them away from, like, becoming the biggest or releasing the biggest potential of someone inside, because it could be also work out very well for you. It could be the next big thing in whatever, and having your own restaurant in there or in Bali, this and that. So what holds you back? And the experience, what I can give, let's say, as a little wisdom is, you have to move in order to do things, in order to see things, and in order to that opportunities come to you. If you wouldn't have moved from Canada to, for example, Bali, probably with a different purpose, you wouldn't be the guy that you are today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so you just have to risk things, when we call it risk, and you just have to move.
Totally agree. Curious, on this journey, I think that there's sometimes, I don't know, I feel like there's going to be a majority of people that may be listening that are willing to take the leap potentially, but on that journey, there can be a lot of adversity, hurdles, ups and downs. Can you speak about perhaps a moment in any business journey that you've been in where you had taken the leap, say invested the money and or moved overseas, and you were at like a rock bottom point and you weren't sure what to do, and you considered moving back to ground zero, which let's say is Berlin? What did you do to get over that time? Did it require more hard work? Was it a spiritual thing to overcome it? Did you turn to faith? Did someone lend a helping hand? You delved into your network to seek out support? I'm just curious to find an inspiring story here that someone could potentially use to overcome perhaps a challenging time that they're going through while they're on their journey.
So, to be honest with you, it's maybe more the disappointments of people that I really showed my love and my respect and time, and the way how they disappointed me. That was something that pulled me a little bit away mentally. But it wasn't, to be honest, I don't think there was a time in my life where I really crashed down like this and had to start all over again, because I was always either fortunate enough or, let's say, smart enough, if I can say it, to have, I'm a survival kind of guy. And yes, of course, there were like times where everything was like a little bit. To give you a perfect example, the COVID times were amazing for me. Like business-wise, amazing, traveling, amazing. Everything was literally one of the perfect times of my life, I would say, even financially. And but then all of a sudden the economy changed, and I was also dealing with watches, and for example buying a Rolex for 25,000, then we're able to selling it for 35,000, 10K right there, or even on a bigger scale, if you understand. So and then all of a sudden this stops, boom. So the income is not there anymore as it was supposed used to be.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I have to reinvent myself, kind of. And then going in another route, like doing all of a sudden a little bit of Airbnb business, doing like this and stuff, you know. So, but I was always capable to adapt. I was never this guy, the victim, who went, "Oh my God, my life is so blah 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 blah."
That's the gem right there. I'm probably looking for, innovating, looking for new ways. Would you say, or would you agree? Like, I feel like when you decide that you're going to take a big risk and commit to doing something different for your life, taking a leap, albeit moving across the world, investing different money, do you notice that the universe kind of favors you a little bit? Like it gets on your side, and you notice that different resources are popping out that you didn't expect. Like you just notice a little different type of assistance to help you moving forward.
Big time. Like again, I think the biggest advice that I can give to people right now is, again, to move. You have to, exactly. I would have never met you if I wouldn't move.
True.
Let's say, just hypothetically speaking, visionary speaking, let's say in 2 years, Crème brûlée becomes the biggest thing on the island because of that move that I came to Bali. You know, you're trying. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So, and this could happen for you, for everyone out there. You just have to move. It was like hard at sometimes because I still had that jewelry business running, and I moved to Miami because I fell in love with it, and I really, for me, that was like kind of, I think, a turning point into my life. That was 2015, and the jewelry business was running quite well, and I went with a friend to Miami, and it was winter in Germany, and it was obviously summer in Miami, and I was thinking to myself, God damn it, what the hell you were doing all the years in Berlin during the winter, freezing cold, like
I can relate.
Yeah, you from Canada, so you can definitely relate. And I was like, what the fuck I was doing there all these years? I kind of it wakes me up, like okay, and then immediately the idea, okay, I have to make it happen in order to move to Miami, even while I'm having the responsibilities of a company with, I think, almost 20 employees and stuff. That's a big risk, by the way, doing this, you know what I mean? But I was thinking like, hey, if I'm not doing it, I'm going to regret it when I'm turning 100 years in my deathbed, you know? So, and I really wanted to do. And of course, I had a partner, which is my best friend, still till this day. And he was like running more let's say I was more the creative part, without not saying he was not creative, but I was like doing the campaigns and the collections and stuff and the network, and he was more like taking the office always to the next level and being with the employees.
Yin and yang.
Yin and yang, literally, exactly. And he said something which is very true. And tell me about it. If you think that's kind of, or why the world is functioning that way, let's be a little bit philosophical. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know, you name it. So, of course, all the employees have seen I'm in Miami, living the life, you know, kind of thing. And he called me one day, said, Farid, trust me, I'm not envy, I'm not jealous at all, but it affects the company that they see you having this beautiful time while they're in cold Germany and working for you at the end of the day, you know? And I was like, huh? But I'm also doing this for the company, because the beautiful thing about Miami was I could have made beautiful content for the company. Instead of showing a snowman with a jewelry piece, I was showing palm trees and stuff, you know? So this is like how my mind was functioning. But he said, yeah, again, I totally understand it, but imagine them seeing you, the guy who's supposed to be here with them all the time, now being in Miami, being on the beach, being party with 50 Cent, this and that. So it's cool. Of course, they love to see it somehow, but still something, trust me, it reflects on the work of what they do, because they feel like kind of... how do you say?
Like left out?
Exactly.
Excluded?
Exactly, kind of. And in my mind, it was hard to process that, because everything that I did was love, bro. Even for the company, love. But I understand how the human brain is function.
Yeah.
It's like something that you might have, and I don't have it. Automatic kind of that emotion kicks in. I want it too.
Yeah.
And either now it's the decision that your brain makes. Either I'm jealous and being a hater, or I'm being the guy who say, "Hey, well deserved, brother.
Yeah.
Keep it up."
So how'd you manage it, or what'd you do?
So it started with like one call. After like 2 months, then it starts being a weekly call, and then there was a decision has to be made. It was like, bro, it really affects the company now. Even with business partners and stuff, they don't see you. They kind of, why are you having 50% of a company if you're not around the company, kind of thing, So literally the question was like, can you back out a little bit percentage wise? And I was, huh? But I was thinking, and I was like so into the Miami thing. At the end of the day, I agreed with that, and this is like the way how we kind of found a way that I could be abroad, but I had to give up percentages of the company.
Got it.
Yeah.
So life's a little bit of give and take. You
Kind
took
of thing, yes.
every decision has good and bad consequences and has some sacrifice.
Big time.
Yeah.
I can give you maybe a better example. Let's say you have a girlfriend. You, for example, you have a girlfriend, and imagine you were always abroad, always, and she's seeing you having a good life, playing in high beats, being bammed, and she's always seeing Bali. She's in a beautiful place. That makes it maybe a little more. But imagine she would be in Germany in winter and seeing you having the time of your life. The first thing why he don't take with me, for example,
Yeah.
But that means also for you another responsibility, another flight tickets, another this, another expenses, this, and you know what I mean. So no one sees really the this stuff behind it.
They just see what they see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's always the balance, I think.
Feel you. Yeah, balancing life, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Cool, bro. Moving along here. So this is an interesting question here. I'm going to preface it. So you've came up with different ideas, built businesses and sold them, jumped across different industries, fashion, jewelry, etc. You carry yourself, bro, with a very positive aura, and in my opinion, it exudes gratitude. Question for you. Why do you think, touching on spirituality a bit, why do you think all of these cool things are happening for you? Why are you having these successes in business? Why are all these cool things manifesting? What do you believe in? I'm curious, and you can go deep if you want. I really want to open up the floor for that. Sure. Are you a spiritual guy? Why do you think this success is happening for you?
Exactly. First of all, beautiful question. I really liked it. I got goosebumps again.
Cool.
And yes, sir. I think the main purpose in my life is to remain happy. And this is my number one goal. I know it sounds cheesy somehow, easy, yeah, follow your blah, blah, blah. But trust me, you have a big responsibility to yourself. And as you said, I'm kind of spiritual, not because it's a hype or it's a trend. I have my own way of being spiritual. I don't believe in any type of religion, which is for me kind of human-made, without offending anyone. It's a beautiful thing to believe in something. Don't get me wrong. It can move mountains, so it's very beautiful. And I love, and I even respect the people who have that faith in their religion and doing their thing. But for me, it works out the way, because when I have let's say my little momentums alone and thinking of the universe, etc., I think all goes along with energy. You are an energy which is like in a human body right now, doing your thing to get that experience, of it being a human. And when we, let's say, go from this planet one day, this energy is not gonna go away. It's just differently, And what helps me a lot, I think, to remain happy is controlling my ego. I don't want to say I don't have an ego. That would be a lie, but it's very essential and important for me, because you know how many times you get into conversations where people like you're me now at this stage of my life. I literally know I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your ego right now. Imagine you would you had the power, the capability to put this ego away. What a beautiful conversation it would be. For example, Ron. Maybe he will hate me for this, what I'm about to say, but he's a beautiful guy, incredible producer. I love to work with him, and he's a really good friend of mine. And we had like the last week here, like spending hours and hours together. And he was more into like talking all the time. And I was more into like, bro, let's get things done. And I ate it for a while, but then I had to say, bro, now stop, please. I love you, but honestly, I really want to get things done. and I'm tired of talking. You know, I know you needed it as kind of a, let's call it therapy or an exchange between friends.
Yeah.
And I give it to you, but on a certain level. Now I really want to, now you're taking my time into going to the wrong direction, you know? And I said this to him, and I was afraid that he took it, or that his ego would have took it into a wrong direction and say, eh, who the fuck you think you are, like talking to me like this, and I want to express my feelings and blah, blah, blah. It could be, and I would say 90% of the people would react like this.
Yeah.
But he was beautifully reacting, say, bro, you slapped me in a beautiful way. I get it. Thank you for that. So that's been said. I think controlling your ego is essential to remain being happy. And I learned also one big thing when I had my time of being like reading books of self-reflection and stuff. There's one thing I really learned, and it's so simple. I'm gonna say it. I don't even think that you guys will process it in the way it could be, but it did with me. One guy, his name is Dieter Lange. He really did a great work in terms of being a YouTube mogul guru. And there was one question that someone asked him. And this guy was with the Indians. He was in Tibet with the monks. He was like literally, because he also had this philosophical question, what is the purpose in life and blah, blah, blah. And then one guy, after all of this, asked him one question. What is the biggest learning, or what is the biggest advice you can give to the people? Take life as it is. It's too easy to okay, what's the meaning behind it? But take life as it is, and it has come to you. It's like, let's say you're in traffic, and it's not moving. Either now you can shout, what the fuck, I'm late, and blah, 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 and like your whole mood is getting down, or you know what? Turning on the music and listen to a proper set of Brodie or Asrŷ, and vibing to it, because now you have the time to hear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all a perception of how you see things.
Yeah, it actually reminds me of a quote. They say, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90%
how you react to it. How you react to it,
Yeah.
True.
Control what you can.
Exactly.
What you can't. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. Even like, let's get a little bit more...
Manage yourself.
Even when it comes to sickness or stuff. Like, let's say someone has cancer, God forbid, you know, you cannot change. I mean, you can do whatever you about to do, going to the doctor, going to the chemo and stuff. But at the end of the day, then rather enjoy your life until that sad moment comes.
Yeah.
And again, your energy will still flow. It's just the only thing that you cannot have a chat or a party together with that person anymore. But technically, it's just the body that is leaving. Anything else is staying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this is the way how I kind of...
I dig it. We going deep today on Brodie Nero TV. Let's go. Nice, man. Well, dude, we've had such a great conversation. I got one more question for the day.
Beautiful.
Let me tailor this right. So I'm curious. Imagine there's, let's say, an entrepreneur, a creative, DJ, producer. They're out there right now. They have some momentum. They're not starting from zero. Maybe they have some local residencies. Maybe they already have an existing startup. Mm-hmm. Maybe they've released some music, but they haven't put on any big labels. Someone that's, again, not starting from zero, already has some momentum, but they want to break through to the next level. They want to go from startup to corporation. They want to go from local resident to international talent. Mm-hmm. Any tips or gems you could drop on them, 2 or 3, let's say, of what they could do to accelerate to that next level?
Mm-hmm. It's hard to say it, but it's the brutal truth.
Yeah.
Don't master the music, master your marketing skills.
Dude, the answer that we all need that nobody wants to hear.
Exactly.
Because the truth is, we speak about it actually a lot on this podcast. You could make the best record here right now on a laptop. If you don't know how to put yourself out there, it doesn't mean nothing. But I could come in here and make a super average record. Mm-hmm. And I could market the shit out of myself on Instagram, run my ads, get everything campaigns tight, and I'll move faster than you.
Done. Way faster.
That's it. Master marketing.
Master your marketing.
I like it.
As simple as it is and as brutal as it is.
Yeah. Any, I mean, I feel like social media, there's going to be a lot of congruencies between entrepreneurships and music. Are there a few gems of marketing advice you could throw to the people? Getting a little more tactical, a little more specific.
Look, I will say now my secret sauce. How
Okay.
I want to blow up, okay?
Yeah.
If it's going to work out, we will all see
Yeah.
sooner or later. But knowing that marketing is everything, and I think I have quite a few of advantages compared to other people when they want to become a DJ and or an artist.
Yeah.
So I think to master, first of all, like a proper Instagram account,
Okay.
because that's the first thing that people ask you about.
It's like the new business card. It's the new resume.
It is the business card. It's the number. It's your, even for a model, it's the folder. You know, like and the resume exactly. So this is, you have to master your Instagram in a very creative, in a very like unique and way that people, because nowadays, as you said, everything is like so overwhelming and distraction everywhere. You have to find something, a tipping point where people watching you instead of, for the podcast, for example, how do you want to market it? Maybe that could be, as you said, the most beautiful conversation ever. But if you don't market well, how people know about it? Because they have tons of other podcasts out there. They're maybe better marketed, maybe not better from the content, but maybe better marketed in whatever. So this is, I think, essential. And even like the secret sauce that I'm saying is like, for me, is hiring a videographer. And having him with me all the time and showing like the things that people wants to see. Okay?
Cool.
So cool stuff. Because again, I'm traveling a lot, I move a lot. So I think that's quite cool. And of course I have to master this as well.
Yeah.
And but it's better than being at home and having a brick wall and just saying things, you know, what I think or I believe.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And actually, it reminds me, so people come to me a lot for DJ bookings and opportunities to play. And man, I hate to admit it, not to throw digs at anybody, but I got sent a name in recent weeks and I was like, send me the IG. And it was somebody trying to get their friend booked or whatever that's coming to Bali. And I was like, send me the IG. He's like, I can send it to you, but this artist hasn't posted since 2021. And I'm like, he's like, but I can send you a bunch of mixes and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, send the material through. But already in my mind, because I'm thinking about, you know, the idea is to get more reach on social media so more people come to the party. And I'm supposed to take your name from overseas that's coming here, and if someone goes to check out that name, who's that person, what they're doing, they got 3 posts on IG or they haven't posted in 6 years, like, I'm not inclined to book them, man. That's the reality.
Even if you want to.
Yeah. Even if they play so good. I mean, maybe if they play so good, I'd do something about it. But the point we're trying to make here is the importance of a good online brand.
100%. It's the number one essential key for new artists, or even for still to remain your success, you know? It's super important.
Facts.
And I think, look, if you don't know what to do or which route to go, pick someone who does it, like your role model DJ or whatever, and just try to copy it. It's going to be different anyways because you have a different life, you know what I mean? But he's giving you kind of the blueprint.
No
you
doubt.
know, so this I think could be helpful. I do the same, to be honest. I mean, if I don't know which route should I go, checking who he's doing that route. Okay, smart. Boom.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I once had a marketing guy tell me that I should find. He called it a North Star, something to follow.
Yeah, something to follow, exactly.
Yeah.
Without being a follower.
Yeah, exactly. Still carve your own way, but we're all pulling inspiration from each other. Cool.
I remember when what is his name? What's the famous DJ who now has a label? I forget his name.
So many.
Yeah, from Holland, Dutch guy. Whatever, Afrojack.
Okay.
He was also on a podcast, and the people were asking him what is your secret in order if someone wants to make a hit record and stuff? Copy another hit record.
Yeah.
Just if you're trying to do it that way, by mistake or even by being smart, it will sound different, and the rest gonna be your history. And it's true. If you, of course, it's bro. Trust me. Also, momentum is huge essential. For example, "Move," the hit record from this year, the summer, from Adam Port and stuff. Without TikTok, it would never ever been so successful. Never. It's a beautiful song. It's catchy. It's vibey. It's summerish. Beautiful, 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 but never ever. Look, the whole entire Kind of Music crew, to go backwards, never had a single record which was beyond 20 million of streaming on Spotify. All of a sudden, 300 million, thanks to IG and having like beautiful content.
Yeah.
And FOMO is also another secret. So you have to create FOMO.
No doubt.
That's super important too.
No doubt. Gems on gems, exclusively on Brodie Nero TV. Appreciate you guys. Bro, I want to take a second to acknowledge you, man. Appreciate your time and coming here to Bali. So grateful for the new friendship, the work we're going to do and everything. One last thing I wanted to say is that I want to congratulate you on all your success. And I really feel that how you've interacted with me and the people I've seen you interact with so far, you truly exude, as I mentioned before, an attitude of gratitude. And I think it's a huge conduit to your success, man. So congratulations on everything.
Thank you, man.
More power, more health, more success. Brodie Nero TV, you know where it's at. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace, love, light.